Revenue dropped by nearly 10% in just 3 years. Hundreds of stores closed. 25,000 employees and their families behind them, gone. For a company once considered the retail icon of America, this is not just a decline. It's the funeral of an empire. Best Buy used to be where Americans touched the future. Now there's only darkness. If you grew up in the 90s, you'll remember that feeling. The hum of hundreds of screens, the smell of new plastic, those weekend trips with my father to buy our first TV. Best Buy is not just a store. It's a memory, a part of us. However, those memories now only echo between empty corridors and flashing neon lights. What caused that green and gold symbol to collapse? How could a giant that once dominated both technology and American memory disappear in silence? Let's rewind time, back to where the blue American dream began and then faded away. The 1960s, Minnesota. While the whole of America was dreaming of setting foot on the moon, an ordinary man, Richard Schulze, had a simpler dream: to help people hear the world more clearly. He mortgaged his small house to open a store called Sound of Music. First-year revenue, only $73,000. But in that small room filled with the smell of plastic, electrical wires, and the whirring of cassette tapes, a new American dream was taking root. Schulze doesn't just sell speakers, he sells excitement, the moment when the sound becomes louder, clearer, and more real. For him, each TV, each sound system was a promise. Technology would make human life better. And he was right. In just 5 years, revenue increased from $9 million to $239 million. By 1993, that number was $1.6 billion. Best Buy became the new symbol of the American dream, from a small garage to a giant technology empire. In the late 90s, Best Buy didn't just sell electronics, they sell excitement. They sell the feeling of touching the future. The green and yellow signs sprang up across America like beacons of modernity. Going to Best Buy on the weekend has become a ritual for millions of American families, where parents take their children to see the first flat-screen TVs and where young people dream of their first computer setups. A middle-aged man recalled, "I still remember the day my father took me to Best Buy to buy my first TV. That's where I fell in love with technology and believed the future will be bright." But while the entire United States was still immersed in the neon blue glow of Best Buy, a storm is brewing silently, not in the store, but on the internet. Amazon began to teach Americans something new, that you can buy anything with just a click of a mouse. The blue walls of Best Buy are still shining brightly. Long lines of people still jostled to buy CDs, cameras, and DVD players. No one realized that the revolution had begun in a place they didn't even see. Best Buy reached its peak, but perhaps they didn't know that. That very moment of glory was when the clock started ticking down. Best Buy is the fairy tale of the American dream, written with ambition, belief, and the bright glow of televisions in the night. But just like every dream, no one knows exactly when dawn will break. Best Buy is at the peak of its power. The shops are packed with customers. The test speaker's voice echoed every place. The stock increased every quarter. The media calls them the last standing retail giant. Everything seemed invincible. But sometimes the loudest noises hide the first cracks. People still go to Best Buy, but they don't buy there anymore. They walk past each shelf, touched the shiny TVs, tried out the new camera, listened to the sales staff, then pulled out their phones, compared prices, and quietly left. Best Buy has inadvertently become a free showroom for Amazon, a place where customers come to look, not to buy. While Amazon is teaching Americans that they can have everything with just a click of a mouse, Best Buy still believes that customers will always need a physical experience. They don't realize that the internet is changing consumer habits. Every line of code is rewriting their destiny. Since 2009, revenue at stores in the same location began to decline. In 4 out of the next 5 years, the reported figures were negative. Stocks are fluctuating, the store is getting emptier. And then Forbes published the cold headline, "Why Best Buy is Going Out of Business." Gradually, there was no spectacular collapse. It was just a silent, slow decline, like a TV gradually losing signal, the screen flickering and then going blank. The outside world is still moving. The iPhone was born. Everything shrinks into the palm of your hand, where people compare prices, place orders, and receive goods without ever having to step outside. The warning signs were there, but no one inside the blue and gold walls wanted to see them. For them, today's sales are still okay. The store is still lit, customers are still coming, everything seems normal. But all empires fall, starting from their seemingly most peaceful days. The wind had started to blow, and no one realized that storm season was coming. After years of teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, Best Buy has managed to stay afloat. They were revived, under the hand of someone who didn't come from the electronic world, but from the tourism industry. In 2012, Hubert Jolie, a Frenchman who had worked at Carlson, a travel company, was invited to take on what investors called an impossible mission. Jolie didn't come to restructure finances, but to restructure people. He said, "Best Buy doesn't need to fight Amazon on price. Let's fight with our hearts with people who know how to listen to customers." The Renew Blue campaign was launched. They cut over $1 billion in costs, completely rebuilt their supply chain, transformed old warehouses into online distribution centers, and revived the promise, you can price match Amazon. Best Buy is also changing the way we live. Each store is not just a place to buy goods, but an experience showroom where Apple, Samsung, Sony, and Microsoft all appear together, competing within the same space. A peaceful confrontation results exceeded expectations. In just 4 years, sales grew again. Best Buy stock is up over 200%. Moody's upgrades credit rating. The financial world calls this one of the greatest revivals of American business. Best Buy has regained confidence. They reminded Americans why they used to love this brand. After the first storm, it seemed like dawn had returned. Then in 2020, the second storm hit. This time, no one could prepare. The COVID pandemic changed the retail world forever. People were forced to stay home, and Best Buy, which had once thrived on in-person experiences, suddenly became unnecessary. Online shopping is booming. The pandemic is not just a health crisis. It is the biggest shift in consumer models of the century. As the world went online, Best Buy remained in the store. Revenue at the store dropped by nearly 10% in just a few months. Best Buy closed 70 stores and laid off 25,000 employees. The retail model they were once proud of has now become a huge burden. While Amazon doubled its growth thanks to e-commerce, Best Buy struggled with rent, logistics costs, and a hard truth. Customers had gotten used to not needing to touch the products anymore. Best Buy is trying to adapt, investing heavily in its online platform, reducing delivery times to 2 days, and expanding remote consultation services. But they no longer have an advantage. Once consumers are used to one-click buying, no one needs to go to a store to ask the staff what they should buy anymore. Since 2022, passenger traffic has decreased by over 20%. Half of the stores in the central states of the U.S. are experiencing severe lack of customers. Many shops become showrooms of their own past. Best Buy is now likened to the final version of Fry's Electronics, a relic of the golden age of retail. But this time, the problem is no longer money. Best Buy is still profitable. They still exist. What they lost was the purpose of their existence. Each store was overflowing with equipment that no one needed, had few employees, sparse customers, and smiles that seemed to have disappeared as well. Everything that once made Best Buy different, the human experience, dedicated service, and vibrant atmosphere, is now just a memory. After so many efforts to survive, Best Buy was once again drawn into a new cycle. Not because of strategic mistakes, but because the world around it had changed too quickly. A secret investigation by CBC Marketplace found that over 50% of refurbished products sold on the Best Buy Marketplace platform did not meet quality standards. Some devices that were even recalled by Apple and should have been destroyed are still being resold under the guise of like-new refurbished goods. Best Buy employees admit, don't buy on Marketplace. That's a third party. We can't control it. The shock spread across social media. For customers, Best Buy is no longer a place they trust, but just a vague intermediary. Best Buy quickly apologized and committed to reviewing its entire marketplace system. But something worse happened. Consumers no longer knew which was the real Best Buy And which was the Best Buy marketplace? When your last advantage is credibility and you lose it, there is no longer any stronghold that can protect you. When a brand can no longer protect consumers, it is no longer Best Buy. Not stopping there, Best Buy gradually lost its identity, forgetting the reasons that once made them great. Best Buy was once loved for its genuine people and authentic experiences. Customers come here to touch technology, listen to advice from knowledgeable staff, and feel like they are participating in an American consumer ritual, where sellers and buyers share the excitement about new technology. But then, amidst the wave of cost-cutting, they replaced veteran employees with cheap, seasonal, and unenthusiastic labor. The shop became lifeless, with only the cold green and yellow lights and unfamiliar faces remaining. Experience, the soul of the brand, disappears. Best Buy used to be a place where a 15-year-old boy could walk in and feel like he was touching the future. But as things became cold, mechanical, and profit-driven, Best Buy was no longer the American dream of technology, but just another store among thousands. Americans are emotional. They buy with their hearts before they buy with their wallets. And when the heart is no longer attached, revenue also leaves. Best Buy's management team from 2010-2012 focused on cost-cutting, store closures, and frequent CEO changes, instead of asking, how can we redefine ourselves in the digital age? They react slowly, manage through fear, not strategy. While Amazon is rebuilding the retail world with data, Best Buy is still operating on a 1990s model, where every decision depends on quarterly sales, not a 10-year vision. As a result, they lost their ability to lead the market. The brand once considered the heart of American technology has become a follower, passive, only able to copy the tactics of others. When you're just trying to survive, you've forgotten how to win. As can be seen, no empire collapses from a single fatal blow, but from thousands of small cracks that no one is willing to see. They didn't lose because Amazon was stronger, but because they themselves stopped changing. And the saddest part, they had everything they needed to win. They just weren't brave enough to reinvent themselves. When Amazon emerged, Best Buy still thought, no one can replace customers wanting to see, touch, and try products. They see the internet as a secondary tool, not a revolution. By the time they realized Americans liked shopping from their sofas, it was too late. Best Buy's website was outdated, slow, cumbersome, and didn't offer the same ease of purchase as Amazon. Rigid pricing policy that doesn't keep up with the online market. Delivery is slow and expensive, while Amazon Prime gets things delivered in one day. Result, customers still went to Best Buy to look at products, but ordered them on Amazon, a form of showrooming that made them a stage for their competitors. Best Buy didn't lose because of a lack of technology. They lost because they didn't believe the world was truly changing. In 2024, Best Buy still exists. They're still reporting a profit, a little profit, enough to stay afloat. But the soul had left those walls. Customers now buy online, staff are scarce, and stores that were once bustling now resemble forgotten warehouses from the past. Best Buy once won with trust, with people, with experience, but then they forgot that those things are more fragile than revenue, because they live in the customer's emotions, not on the financial statements. From a brightly lit showroom to a deserted ghost town, Best Buy didn't collapse in a day, but gradually disappeared in its own silence. It all started with a dream and ended in silence. From Richard Schultz's brainchild in 1966 to an empire dominating the entire U.S. retail technology industry, and then to dusty shelves, Best Buy has completed the full life cycle of a business: birth, growth, dominance, and then gradual disappearance. But what people will remember forever isn't the numbers, but it's a feeling. The feeling the first time you walk into a Best Buy store, where everything is bright, new, and the future seems right in front of you. For many years, Best Buy has been more than just a place to shop. It's been a part of the collective memory of Americans, where fathers took their children to see the first flat-screen TV, where young couples choose their first phone together, where employees in blue shirts smile and introduce you to the future. And then, one by one, the shops turned off their lights. The faded blue and yellow sign, the empty parking lot, and the for lease sign hanging up. Spaces that once symbolized the future of America are now becoming relics of the past. When a Best Buy store closes, it's not just a business disappearing, it's a slice of life in the memories of middle-class Americans. At its peak, Best Buy had over 180,000 employees across the United States. When the crisis hit, tens of thousands of people were laid off. Those who had been more than just employees but were deeply connected to the brand. They are Geek Squad technicians used to help customers set up computers and recover data. The first-generation, tech-loving salespeople are always proud to wear the blue shirt. People who live in small towns where Best Buy is one of the few places with stable jobs and benefits. When the store closes, they lose income, health insurance, and the feeling of contributing to something greater. One employee once said through tears, "I've helped customers choose TVs for Super Bowl night for 15 years. Now I don't have enough money to buy one for my child." A simple saying, but it reflects the entire tragedy of the American working class. Loyal, hardworking, and left behind in the digital age. Every empire has a moment of silence when the light still remains, but the warmth has gradually departed. Best Buy is still open, but the enthusiasm is gone. Those who used to come here every week now only stop by when they need to quickly buy something. They didn't come to explore, but only to complete a transaction. The shops are still alive, but it's a superficial kind of life. Best Buy is not failing in business. They failed to control their emotions. If Best Buy's story were viewed solely through numbers, it would be a downward trend. But from a management perspective, this is a valuable lesson for all businesses in a time of volatility. Lesson 1. Never think you're safe. Best Buy once dominated, but complacency caused them to be slow to adapt to the digital age. Stability, sometimes the sweetest trap. Lesson 2. Human power can save a business, but it cannot replace vision. Hubert Jolie helped Best Buy revive itself through culture, service, and trust. But as technology advances faster than emotions, that trust needs to be reinforced by innovation, not just by employee smiles. Lesson 3. A brand doesn't decline because of losses. It declines when it loses its meaning. When consumers no longer see themselves in a brand, all financial models become meaningless. Amazon didn't knock out Best Buy, and perhaps it was Best Buy itself that lost the reason people wanted to stay. Anyway, Best Buy is still an icon. It's the memory of millions of Americans, where they bought their first phone, their first TV, where they experienced technology as a miracle. Best Buy teaches us that a company doesn't just exist to sell products, but to maintain trust. And when that trust is broken, the business can survive, but the soul is gone. Perhaps Best Buy will still be around for many more years, but the Best Buy we once knew, the Best Buy of bright blue lights and echoing music every weekend, is gone. Perhaps this isn't just a story about a brand, but it's a story about ourselves, those who grew up with technology and are witnessing how the world is changing, faster than memories can keep up. Best Buy might still be open, but the Best Buy we loved has become a memory. The rise and fall of Best Buy is not just an MBA case study, but a reminder that every empire, no matter how large, can lose its soul if it forgets why it is loved. Best Buy still exists. The store is still open. The golden logo is still hanging. But behind that light is a bigger question. Are we living in the very cycle that Best Buy once fell into? A world that is increasingly fast-paced and digital, yet is losing the moments that truly connect people. Perhaps Best Buy is not just a story about a brand, but a mirror reflecting the very way we are shopping, working, and trusting. So in your opinion, can Best Buy rise again? Is this the final chapter for an American icon? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you have any memories of Best Buy, or have you ever seen another brand go down the same path? If you enjoy stories like this, emotional case studies, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next journeys, where we explore how empires rise, shine, and then quietly fade away. Because sometimes, understanding failure is the best way to learn about success. This video is based on public information, financial reports, and reputable media sources. All opinions, statements, and analyses in this video are for informational, educational, and critical purposes only, and do not represent any organization or individual associated with Best Buy. If there are any factual errors, we always welcome feedback, as truth, like technology, is constantly evolving.